The Kapow Radio Show Network produces high-quality podcasts that you definitely want to hear. So stick around and get prepared to stimulate your spirit.
Lord, now can't you see? Trouble and evil are surrounding me. Death and pain for the wicked world's fate, but the righteous and just shall live by the faith.
We're on, Miss Kapow.
Yay!
Freedom Friday Hour.
And it is the 19th of February, 2016.
That's right, and that's my beautiful co-host. And I am your mumbling, bumbling,
Handsome.
fumbling. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm Paul. Paul and Linda. Linda, darling. Honey, please. Linda, honey. Honey, please, huh? Listen to me. That's such a cute little boy. Go to YouTube, type in Linda Honey, and you'll see this little boy if you haven't seen it. What is he, about 3 years old, 4 years old?
Probably 4.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. And his mother's name is Linda, and he wants a cupcake. And she won't give him a cupcake. But this guy's like a little debater, and it's really humorous.
He's scary smart.
He's scary smart. But her name is Linda, and so when he's debating, he calls her by the first name. And he's like, Linda, honey. Linda, please. Linda, listen to me, honey.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, it's hilarious. It really is. I like that. Miss Kapow and I, we hope you had a beautiful week. And last weekend, and a nice week. As you know, last Sunday was Valentine's Day. We don't really do a whole lot, with that. The little Cupid thing, and it's just us. You know how weird we are. But we did go out to dinner Friday, and so this is kind of a joke. I really did this, but it wasn't for Valentine's Day. It just happened that
Fall on Valentine's weekend.
It fell on that weekend. But I bought something very, very special for Miss Kapow. Whereas most men would do flowers or chocolate, something nice. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. I did. Tell him what I did. Tell him what I did.
Well, he took me to a shooting range with other women, and it's the Women's Defensive Weaponry Club. So he had me join. And so that day, I got to shoot some bullets.
And then what do we do afterwards?
And afterwards, he bought me a nice little gun.
See here,
a 22 caliber Smith & Wesson M&P.
Ooh, nice. It's a good starter gun for her to practice and get her chops up and the whole bit. Of course, I went out there and I blew some 40 caliber rounds. Clack, 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 clack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to work with these gals. No, seriously, this is true. It's the Women's Defensive Weaponry Club. They're here in Southern Nevada. And I'm going to work with them because of my background in policing and doing defensive tactics and things like that. Because they don't just shoot guns. They do all kinds of defensive stuff.
Yeah. It's actually a really good club,
And we have a seminar coming up March 5th. Here. It's a big women's safety defense seminar where they're going to have a lot of speakers and things like that. So we're going to get involved in that. Ms. Kapow is involved as a shooter, and I'm going to be involved as an advisor, I guess.
Or advisor.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. And so when the apocalypse comes, man, we're ready. Kapow!
Yep. Kapow for sure.
Yeah, kapow. All right. Let's see. Here's something. We're going to try something different. Now, you probably noticed on our Facebook page, Fifth Hook Media Facebook, we don't post pictures of ourselves on there.
Nope.
Very rarely. I think the last time I put something of Miss Kapow was she was holding our book, Demons in a Marriage Bed, when that came out. I think it was like the last time. We just don't. But as a bonus, because there's a lot of stuff on our Facebook page that we talk about here, but there's other stuff, and we have visitors posting things that it's cool to see. As a bonus, I am going to, Lord willing, after this show, I'm going to post a couple of things of Miss Kapow.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because you're the pretty one here.
Oh,
if I post pictures of me, they're going to go, "What a dork." I'm going to go listen to Glenn Beck. But I'm going to post pictures of Miss Kapow. Now, these are cool. One is she was in a charitable community fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Modeling.
Show.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
modeling show.
So I'm going to post a little short video. I was there. I was like one of 3 men there. It was unbelievable. I was surrounded by these cackling. I mean women. I didn't say hens. No, I didn't say. Me and John, the guy in the wheelchair, we sat there.
There's a lot of talk there.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of talking.
But anyway, Miss Kapow was one of the models in this fundraiser.
Yes.
So I'm going to post a short video of her modeling, and then you'll be able to see Miss Kapow modeling clothes from Stefan's Hair and Design in Mesquite, right?
Stevens Boutique.
Stevens. Oh, it's Stevens, not Stefan's. Sorry. And then the other picture I may post is her squatting 90 pounds with our trainer in beast mode.
Yes.
So you can see her all dressed up modeling, and then you can see her making the face. If I do post that one, blow it up and look at her face that she's making. It's because it's
pretty comical.
It's not posed. It's an action picture. She was actually coming up off the squat, blowing out her air, and then the trainer's right there going, "Come on!" It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was my last rep.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so that's what we do. That's our life.
Mm-hmm. Praise the Lord.
We're goofy. Hey, today's show's called Government Corrupted because the first 5 stories, or the first really 4 stories, I'm going to talk about the government and what they're doing. The United States government. If you're from another country, you can relate to this because your government has already done it to you. It's still doing it. So we're catching up with the rest of you socialists and Marxists everywhere else. And then we're going to talk about a couple of positive things that some government agencies are doing. So actually some positive things that look good. And then we'll take a commercial break, and then we're going to talk about these ghosts in Japan that are being seen in taxi cabs. Sounds weird. Marcos asked me, he says, what is a ghost doing in a taxi?
Was that Marcos or Patrick?
I think it was Marcos who asked me that on Facebook. Why are ghosts taking taxi cabs?
Which is a good question.
It is a good question. The only thing I can answer is because Uber wasn't available. So I don't know. It is kind of weird. And then some mysterious tar that's coming from heaven.
I know. What is that?
Yeah. Instead of manna, it's tar. That's not good. That can't be a good sign. I'm just saying. You want to give a scripture reading?
Oh, yes. I have Psalm 49. And basically, it's about death without Christ.
Oh.
It says, "Hear this, all ye people, give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark sayings upon the harp. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels or my enemies shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever," or labors forever. "That he should still live forever and not see corruption. For he sees that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abides not. He is like the beasts that perish. This their way is their folly, yet their posterity approves their sayings. Like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. And their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dies, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. The while he lives, he has blessed his soul, and when men will praise him when he does well for himself. He shall go to the generation of his fathers, they shall never see light. Man that is in honor and understands not is like the beasts that perish.
Excellent. That's really our hope and our patience and our faith.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our patience, because that's what's going to happen, and we have to be patient with that. It is happening. It's going to happen, and our faith is in Yeshua HaMashiach.
Amen.
And we have to be patient for these things to go down, but they're going down.
Endure to the end.
Exactly. All right, first story. It's kind of good and bad news. The bad news is that the American government is out of control, obviously. There's these liberals, Luciferians. I mean, it's reaching a point of, total tyranny and anarchy, and they're no longer governing. They're just controlling, spying and controlling on every aspect of our lives. That's where they want to go with this stuff. There's a lot of reasons why, but we're not going to talk about that. But the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, the head is, and I can't pronounce her first name, but her last name is Pai, P-A-I, Pai. She was appointed to the FCC in 2012 and has consistently opposed the agency's efforts to impose more restrictions on speech. What's good about this commissioner is that she is pro-freedom of speech and pro-constitution, and she sees her agency and the government that runs her agency pushing the FCC to restrict free speech. It's whittling and whittling away. What she's saying, that these stories that we've talked about on college campuses, where you can't have a burrito on Mexican night because it offends some brown-skinned Hispanic somewhere, and you can't have
rice because it offends Asians.
Yeah, and it's not cooked properly.
Yeah,
it's not steamed the right way. We've talked about this before. It is ridiculous, these college campuses that are doing these things. And she talks about this, that is like culturally a whittling away of free expression, because what happens on college campuses, what happens on social media, what happens that if a vast majority of people hold a viewpoint that transgenders are good, or burritos are offensive to brown skin Hispanics, and blah blah blah, that anybody having an opposing view is simply not tolerated.
Is a hater. And they're slapped down, they're shouted down, they're rallied against, protested against, and tried. So freedom of speech is only one way, though.
Exactly. They'll be the first one to say for freedom of speech, but won't allow the other side. And so she's seen this as the FCC, leader. She's seeing this going on campuses. She's also seen this in social media like Twitter, where before Twitter was kind of like the person standing on the street corner preaching his view. Right. You can either stop and listen to the guy and go, he's crazy. I just didn't walk away, or go, hey, he's saying something pretty valid. The whole idea is that we used to be a culture of ideas. Okay, you don't agree with everybody. There's people that listen to my voice that don't agree with me, and that's fine. That's fine. But it's a mix of ideas. Right. Okay. But what we're seeing here is just a stomp down on anything that's not liberal or Marxist or politically correct. Yeah, it's a stomp down. So Twitter just came out with a new rule where they're going to put in, I don't know how they describe it, but security and safety measures against speech. So they're restricting the freedom of speech.
It's all about control. It's all they want to do is really control you.
Yes, and you only we've talked about this before with the mainstream media, you're only getting certain amounts of information. Last week we talked about Adelson, the guy who owns the Las Vegas newspaper, and that Illuminati fool, and how he's just restricting that speech. And that's just a small scale compared to, global, media stuff,
That's
right?
right. Mm-hmm. But it all trickles down, doesn't it not?
It does. It really does. So this Pi, this gal, she's consistently opposed the FCC's efforts to impose restrictions on speech. The commission last year ruled that the First Amendment, freedom of speech, did not apply to internet service providers. Wow. So if you're on the internet, we're on the internet, we have a podcast, it's on the internet. Free speech doesn't apply to us. At some point, we could be restricted.
Yep.
What we're saying. And I think that's coming.
It is coming. You've been saying that for a while now.
Yeah, I have. That's why I said enjoy the shows now and enjoy who you listen to now, that people that are telling the truth and putting out alternative news, because it may not be here very long. I can really see that coming down the pike. Now, we're nobody. We're nothing to the world, but it does filter down.
Yeah.
And I can see Amazon restricting us. I can see, because some of the things you say in there.
Right.
So if I'm talking against Islam or homosexuality or the LGBT agenda, especially if I call it sin, oh my Lord, never mind what I say against, the liberals and call them stupid. Oh man, here you go. So last year, the FCC ruled that the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, did not apply to internet providers. And it's a precedent that Pi and others pointed out could lead to more regulations on political speech, particularly on websites like the Drudge Report. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Here's what she says. She says, "It is conceivable to me to see the government saying, we think the Drudge Report is having a disproportionate effect on our political discourse." Pi said that shortly after the ruling. And then she said, the FCC does not have the ability to regulate anything, he says, talking about Matt Drudge. And we want to start tamping down on websites like that? End of quote. So I don't know how long she's going to be there in that job.
Yeah.
If she's opposing what, the powers to be want.
Exactly.
But you can see it coming. All right, next story.
Maybe she'll take a dirt nap too, like Scalia.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, there was a, I don't know, I don't remember where it's at, but some boxer was coming against homosexuality.
Yes.
And Nike dropped him.
Yes.
After him saying that.
Yes. Yes. And, I read a little article, speaking of Nike. I guess you can do custom shoes, and on their little Nike thing, you can custom order your shoes and then have something written on there, to inspire you as you're running the marathon or whatever you do. And this guy tried to put in several words to do it, and they will not allow you to put Islam or much Islam, Muhammad or anything to do that. They won't allow you to put those, but they will allow you to put KKK and Nazi or something crazy.
Wow.
Who knows? Who knows what's happening?
Control.
Okay, listen to this story. There's a reason why this is important. Okay, there may be people listening to our tech geeks, people that are not tech geeks, little techie, but it's important for all of us. Most people now today are carrying some kind of smartphone or a tablet or something around with them that they're using. I'm a big Apple guy. I like Mac computers. I like my iPad. I like my iPhone. And both Kapow and Miss Kapow and I both have nice equipment, and I use that company. One of the reasons why I like that company is that I can use a MacBook, and I've done it for years, and I don't have viruses. They don't break down. So I'm not going to get in a debate between Mac, Apple, and PC. But this is what's going on with Apple. Do you remember? You should remember the terrorist attack, the Islamic terrorist attack in San Bernardino last month. And then these two, the guy Saeed and
his lovely bride,
his crazy bride, they both had cell phones. And Saeed's cell phone was issued to him by the county of San Bernardino. And those who have these smartphones or an iPhone or whatever, you can passcode it.
Right.
The older phones took a 4-digit passcode. The newer phones, like what we have, take a 6-digit. When you go to those 2 extra digits, it goes from the possibility of breaking that phone, hacking into it, to the millions. Mm-hmm. It's really amazing. Also, Apple has put in for us, for their customer, because they know if we don't trust that company, if we feel that all our data that you're putting on the phone is going somewhere in a cloud, where the heck is that at? If we feel that they can't keep that stuff safe,
then we don't
buy from Apple. Mm-hmm. We go to Samsung, or we go to Google, or whoever's going to make a phone that's going to keep us more secure.
Right.
That's where the money's going to go. They understand that, so they keep safeguards and security in place. Mm-hmm. So if you password protect your phone, which you should, so that it automatically locks after 1 or 2, 3, 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. That way, if you ever lose it or something, no one can get in it and get your stuff. Right. So this is the case with this San Bernardino terrorist. Right. He had an iPhone 5C. Okay, and it was an operating system 09. I know that may not mean anything, but it's a more current model, but it's like last year or 2 years model, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this guy had his phone password protected, right? So the FBI can't break it. They can't get into the phone. It's not even a matter of I can't read it. I can't get into it, because if you try to put in the password and you're wrong 10 times, it automatically shuts down.
Right.
The data's still there, but it's impossible to get into. Mm-hmm. 10 times is all you get. And that's another layer of protection that Apple has put into their products. So the FBI can't get into the phone. They don't know the password. They can do their algorithms and their computer stuff, but they've only have 10 tries. They can't do it. So they've asked Apple to break into it. Mm-hmm. It sounds simple on the surface, and Apple is saying no. Mm-hmm. So now the media, you will read articles and you'll hear the media saying that Apple is pro-terrorist, that Apple refuses to work with the FBI. And I'm here to tell you that's BS. Mm-hmm. That's not the truth.
No, it's not.
The truth is Apple always works with the FBI. They always work with law enforcement. If you give them a subpoena, they will work for you. For San Bernardino, they sent technicians out to help FBI to get in this thing. Mm-hmm. The problem is that what the FBI, the government, the mainstream media is not telling you is that the FBI was asking Apple to create a software, basically a bad version of operating system 09 that they could load into the phone and create a back door. Mm-hmm. Apple doesn't want to do that because they say by creating that, even if it can be done, who's to say that's where it stops?
That's right. Now it won't. Now
the government has a system, a way to hack to use on any phone and get a back door into it. Mm-hmm. You may say, well, Paul, I have nothing to hide and blah, blah, blah. That's fine for you.
That's not the point.
That's not the point. I don't want the government or another hacker from China getting into my stuff and totally ruining my life, taking my ID and spending my money in the Cayman Islands.
Right.
And now I got to spend the next 5 years fighting for everything to get it back. I don't want that. That's why I use secure products. Mm-hmm. See, but the FBI doesn't care about you. And so now they're doing a smear campaign on Apple. So I think that's important.
It is important.
I think it's important. So when Apple refused, the FBI then went to a judge, and they're citing a law, and I don't know the name of this law, but it goes back to the 1700s.
Yeah.
It's some weird law from the 1700s. This is how thin the case is. And they got a federal judge, ordering Apple to create this software and unlock the phone. And Apple's fighting that still. They're fighting that order. But this is what we live in today. Now, you may say, well, they're just trying to catch these terrorists. They're just trying to blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it could be totally innocent. But we do not trust a corrupt government. We don't trust that that's where it's going to end. And if they can they've been trying to get these software companies for years to try to give them a back door. Do you want them to have a back door to your bank accounts and your stuff? No. The other question is, well, everything's put on the cloud. Why can't they just go to the cloud and get it? Well, they did. They got all the Saeed Fuchs Muslim nonsense off the cloud. But he stopped putting stuff on the cloud about a month before the attack, and they think possibly he turned that off.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's got to be more. Yeah.
But you know what? They won't. You know what? The government won't they won't give an autopsy to a dead Supreme Court justice.
That's right.
Who died in a ranch? Who was fine going on a hunting trip, going to the ranch, spoke to people the night before.
Mm-hmm.
They want to order an autopsy, but they want to jailbreak your phone.
That's right.
Government corrupted.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The news this week was that a magistrate ordered Apple to help the FBI hack an iPhone used by one of San Bernardino's shooter suspects. It has polarized the nation, but also has a lot of misinformation. Now, those who support the government say Apple has cooperated in the past to unlock dozens of phones in other cases, so why can't they help the FBI lock this one? But this isn't about unlocking a phone. It's about ordering Apple to create a new software tool to eliminate specific security protections the company built into its phone software to protect customer data.
That's right.
Opponents of the court's decision say this is no different than the controversial backdoor the FBI has been trying to force Apple and other companies to build into their software. Except in this case, it's an aftermarket backdoor to be used selectively on phones the government is investigating.
Mm-hmm.
And the stakes in this case are high because it draws a target on Apple and other companies embroiled in the ongoing encryption backdoor debate that has been swirling in Silicon Valley and on Capitol Hill for the last 2 years. Briefly, the government wants a way to access data on gadgets even when those devices use secure encryptions to keep it private, which makes you think, it makes you put your tinfoil hat on and go, perhaps the whole San Bernardino thing was also a false flag so you could do this.
That's right.
So you could get to this point. So the other mutton heads out there, yeah, we got to protect ourselves. Yeah, 9/11. Here's my phone. Here's my freedoms. I already gave them up at the TSA. Now I'll just take it in my home.
Yeah, look how well that worked out for us.
Yeah, how's that working out? You know, those two suspects are dead now. They can't talk. And anyway, where were they at? Those what was it? An hour, 2 hours? They disappeared from the scene. Mm-hmm. And law enforcement, they didn't even know where they're at.
Nope.
And then all of a sudden they're still driving around the area. I think that's weird.
That's kind of crazy.
Anyway, it goes on and on, but that's the issue, and why that's important. Whether you're a gearhead or not on this technology stuff, it will affect. It will affect.
It will.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It will affect
in a very negative way.
Exactly.
And once it happens, you can't go back and fix it.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't unring that bell. And I spoke a little bit about Scalia's death. Now, there's a lot of people out there talking about this, a lot of theories now going about that. When we got the breaking news on our little app, our little breaking news app, we got it. That was the first thing we said. That doesn't make sense. Mm-mm. You have a guy die at a ranch of his importance, even not his importance, a regular person. There's always an investigation in that. You don't just go, he died of natural causes without knowing that.
Right.
What natural causes? Mm-hmm. The cyanide in his soup?
Right.
So he naturally caused because of cyanide. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right.
Now, I hate to keep saying my background in law enforcement, but I've been to hundreds, if not thousands, of death investigations. Mm-hmm. It's never handled like the Scalia case.
Mm-mm.
Because when you're in law enforcement, when you're the first on the scene, it's your job to put yourself in the shoes of the deceased. You're protecting that deceased and their rights. And so you're looking for foul play. You're looking for that stuff. The only time that you rule natural causes is if somebody is under a medical care, a terminal medical care.
Yeah, under hospice or something
under
like that.
hospice, and their doctor, and usually you find out because you go to the scene and you see all the pills and all the stuff, and they're not like in good health. They're not walking around mowing the lawn or going to a hunting club and giving speeches the night before.
Right.
And then you call their medical doctor, you talk to them, and they goes, yeah, he was under my care for stage 4 terminal cancer of the brain, and now he's dead. And then you say, will you be willing to sign the death certificate? And the doctor says, yes. That is the end of it. Then you call the mortuary or the coroner, and they take the body away. But you have a doctor signing the death certificate because the guy was terminal. That's not the case.
Nope.
In this.
No, it's not.
And it's just bizarre that you have somebody of such a high level and no autopsy is performed. It's just unbelievable. I cannot believe the body still exists and that they're going to have it in repose. Because as long as that body exists, an autopsy can be performed. Somebody doesn't want that.
No.
So I guarantee you at some point, that body has to be cremated. Because this is raising too many questions. The thing is about all these questions, if it just would have been handled right the first time, just handled right the first time. They go out there, they call law enforcement, they call the marshal, whoever they did. That stupid judge out there signs the death certificate and says it's natural causes, a judge?
Yep.
If they would have just went out there and done their due diligence, photographed the scene, called the coroner out. The coroner has to come out.
That's right.
None of these questions would have been raised. I personally think he was killed. And
That's the first thing I said.
For the purpose of this old bozo character to select a Supreme Court justice of a liberal, progressive bent.
That's right.
They know they're going to lose this next election. More than likely, Bernie and Hillary are not going to be able to sustain themselves. More likely, one of these Republicans are going to win. And so if they're going to win, what can you do? You have to shore up your ideology in the highest court in the nation.
That's right.
That's why these people voted for gay marriage. Okay, Jeb Bush. This is funny.
Oh, yes.
This is on our Facebook page. You have to see this video because you'll see what he's empty inside.
Yeah.
I mean, the lights are on, but no one's home.
Exactly.
This guy's, he reminds me of, honestly, I always say this every time I see Jeb Bush talk and try to debate and stuff. He reminds me of one of those preachers. He's just, I don't know, he reminds me of a lot of guys I used to
Phony.
know. Yeah, he's just goofy. He's brain dead. This is funny. Jeb raises his hand when Graham, that's Senator Graham, who's now campaigning for him, asks the crowd, how many of you are Democrats? And there's a video of this guy, Jeb, without his glasses.
Yeah.
And he looks psycho without his glasses.
I know, he does.
You know.
I've always said that, though.
He does.
Him.
He looks nuts without his glasses. His eyes look all dark.
But this guy, he actually raises his hand. And he has this empty look, like what? Because everyone's kind of like,
Well, then he smiles and like chuckles, but no one else is smiling and chuckling. He's smiling like, oh, I did that to be funny, but no one else goes, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a bunch of servicemen they're talking to. So Graham, it's a South Carolina town hall on Tuesday, and Senator Lindsey Graham asked the audience, how many of you are Democrats? And then Jeb Bush raised his hand and smiled, and then several audience members laughed. But now, hey, give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he did, hey, I'm being funny. Ha, ha, ha. Maybe he did. But it looked really goofy.
it did.
That's just, I'm not saying that has anything to do with corruption, but it falls under goofiness. Okay, here's something. Let's talk about two government agencies that actually I give hats off to.
Okay.
That actually I think are doing the right thing. Everybody knows about Beyonce. What's up, Beyonce girl? She did her NFL, whatever she did. I didn't see
Evil dance.
I can care less about that stuff. So, it's like every year, what's the Illuminati going to do? And everything.
Yeah,
it's like,
we don't watch
dude,
that.
he's right in my backyard. I mean, I don't, But anyway, everybody knows, unless you've been living under a rock, everybody knows she did a song, it's called Formation or whatever. It's a Black Panther, and it's anti-cop and anti-white, and just this typical. It's a hateful device of Illuminati Marxist shield plan. We should know that by now. It's all about dividing. Okay, if you get the blacks and the whites to hate each other, which they're succeeding. Then
you're distracted from the real issues.
Amen, Ms. Kapow. Can you imagine? I don't want to sound like John Lennon here. Imagine all the people living. Yeah. That's my best John Lennon. I kind of sound like
very
him.
good, very good.
But can you imagine if blacks and whites all said, "Look, you got your issues, we got our issues, and we need to work on them together. But our main enemy is not you,
the government.
It's these people oppressing us and doing this and doing that and trying to control us and spying on us and taking away our jobs, making us slaves, doing this and doing this. Let's band together and take the government back. Let's renew this thing.
Right.
Let's have a real revolution." Can you imagine the power? But everybody who's a boss knows this. You divide and conquer. This is an age-old strategy. When I was working, you had the police officers' unions. And I started off in the city of Long Beach. And I remember getting hired, and our union, or they're called associations in California, because it's against the law to unionize police officers. So they're associations, but they're unions. Was very strong. It was very strong and organized. And we had a new chief from LAPD come. And the first thing he started doing was dividing that police officer association. And how he did it was through contract negotiations, grandfathering in those who are already in and separating new people in benefits. And it created a divisive atmosphere.
Yeah.
And before you knew it, it fell. And the only one in charge was the boss. See, so everybody who's worked in a company have seen this. Anybody who's been a boss probably has used the technique to divide and conquer. And this is no different when you see these race wars.
Yeah.
It's what socialists do. It's what Marxists do. It's what Luciferians do.
And they've tried so many times in the past.
Yes. And this Obama guy was supposed to, reunite everybody. He's done more to harm race relations than, I don't know.
We've gone backwards with him.
Yeah. Than the guy Metzger from the Ku Klux Klan. You could just laugh at that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Beyonce does the NFL halftime thing, and she does Formation. It's anti-police. Police officers are getting killed. Last week, there was 4 or 5 that got killed within 24 hours. I just saw a news thing on local TV in Las Vegas where a police dog was attacked with a machete.
I know. That's horrible.
By some idiot. I got my opinions about that. I don't know why the SWAT guys who train for that, and I love guns, and they were too scared and had to send a dog in. Come on, guys, then get off the SWAT team. Right. Go write tickets. It just irritates me. I can't stand sissies. Beyonce is playing in Tampa, Florida, and because the venue she's playing at is sold out, and the crowd that goes to these shows, they're not the brightest people. No, they're kind of stupid, and they expect problems because there's problems going to happen, and so you need uniformed police officers.
Yeah,
just like at the NFL, there was cops there protecting her stupid self, right?
Right.
Cops there while she's doing this, promoting the death of that cop.
Right.
Blue lives do matter. And so anyway, the cops in Tampa, Florida refused to work her concert.
Yeah.
And these things are overtime assignments, see? They're not...
So they're not required.
They're not required. They're all
or
overtime.
Can be forced to do it.
Yeah. You can make a lot of money. I made a lot of money in Long Beach because there was a lot of concerts there, Long Beach Arena, and they did a lot of movies there. So I did a lot of movie sets. What's the guy with William Shatner and... what was it, Hooker?
Steven Seagal?
No, it was William Shatner, and he played... They were like... Hooker.
Yeah.
Hooker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what's her face? The pretty blonde gal who marries all the weird guys. Heather Locklear. Yeah, they did a movie set with her.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, just providing security and stuff like that.
She's cute.
Yeah, different things like that. But anyway, you make a lot of money doing this. Well, Tampa PD, they refused to do it. And because of that song Formation, which is an anti-cop message.
It's going to be hostile there towards the cops. So why would they want to risk their lives
in uniform
there?
Yeah, even if you put 12 of them,
because that music is going to incite them.
Yes, and they're going to look at there's the target there. So you can't force the cop to do something that's going to put his life in danger. His job in itself puts himself in danger, but you can't willingly go. You're going to get mugged and killed, and your gun's going to take from you, shot in the head. You're never going to see your family again, and we order you to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I feel a blue flu coming on. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I don't feel good, Sarge. I don't feel good. So typically, officers who are off duty agree to work concerts and sporting events. They get extra money, like I said. But none have signed up to work security for Beyonce's upcoming concert on April 29th at the Raymond James Stadium. It's expected to be sold out, so not staffing an event with uniformed officers would be a security risk, right? Because you can have all the other security you want, but you need cops. Mm-hmm. So a Tampa Police Department spokeshole said that the lack of names on the list revealed officers' feelings about Beyonce or the recent controversy surrounding her music and the Super Bowl halftime show where she and the group of dancers wore outfits themed after the Black Panthers. We're going to staff it because we have a responsibility to do that regardless of how controversial it might be, who the artist might be, or the politician might be, the spokeshole said. This is a couple of months away, so we still got plenty of time to fill those slots. So they're saying they're going to do it. The working class cops are saying no.
Nah, I don't think so.
And I hope they stick to their guns.
Yeah,
I really do.
Too.
So you know what? A bunch of lieutenants and captains and deputy chiefs, they can go put on the blue suit with their big fat bellies and with a cup of Starbucks on them with their gun all crooked, and they can stand there and get beat up and killed. How's that? Am I angry enough today? Am I angry enough? I don't think I'm angry enough. I don't think I'm getting through. I don't think... Is anybody listening? Hello?
Hello, is this thing on?
Is this thing on? What else can I yell about?
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty.
Okay, that was a good positive hats off story. And I'm yelling. Here's another one. How many of you love transgenders using your restroom?
Ugh, no way.
Oh,
I wouldn't go in there. Sorry, but...
I went to the men's restroom the other day, and there was another man in there. And I said, what are you doing in here? And he says, well, I was transgendered into a woman, but then today I feel like a man, so I'm in here. So I got confused. And I said, well, I'm a zebra.
A zebra. Aw.
That's right. Okay, South Dakota. God, that's beautiful over there, too. I love South Dakota.
Hats off to South Dakota.
Hats off to South Dakota. Transgender bill. South Dakota moves to enact first in the nation law. And they're being dubbed as transvestite haters.
Of course.
The South Dakota legislature passed a bill requiring students to use the bathroom of their gender at birth. Boy, that makes sense. That's weird. Another point in an ongoing debate over balancing growing LGBT rights with those of conservatives fearful for their religious rights. What? See this article? What they already did? Mm-hmm. Balancing the LGBT rights with those conservatives. Okay, so you're an idiot and you're religious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
South Dakota could become the first state with legislation requiring students, even those identifying as transgender or queers, to use the bathroom corresponding to their gender at birth. Oh, that makes sense. I was born a boy. I got to use the boys' restroom, even though I'm dressed like a chick. Oh, my goodness. Common sense. Not common.
No.
South Dakota's bill passed by a state legislator and awaiting the governor's signature. So it's up to him, boy. The pressure's on the South Dakota governor. Is the first to put school bathrooms under law, but it highlights the tense debate over LGBT issues that is playing out around the country, in which both religious conservatives and gay right activists fear their rights are eroding. But here's the deal. There's more to this bill. It doesn't just go, you're transgender, you can't use our restroom. The bill also says, now check this out. The guy's a Republican. South Dakota Governor Dennis Dugard has said that the bill sounds like a good idea, but he wants to study it before deciding. Okay, so we don't know. Maybe we'll reserve our hats off until he signs this thing. Because if he backpedals,
yeah, she could.
Yeah,
I hope not.
Yeah, but here's what this bill also does. It also requires public schools. Okay, not only that you have to use the restroom of your birth, but it requires schools to find reasonable accommodation for students who identify as transvestites. And this could include single-occupant restroom or designating a staff facility for use temporarily.
No, that would work.
So it's not saying that, hey, you want to dress like a girl, you can't go to the bathroom. It's just saying this one's for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to be
a designated bathroom just for you people.
You want to be a new species? Here's your new species restroom. And I like that it says it could be a staff restroom. Mm-hmm. So all these liberal teachers and university instructors who are all liberal, well, let them go pee in your.
It's called the libtard bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. And there'd be a picture, Bernie Hillary. Oh, there you go. Feel the burn, baby. Feel the burn. The bill's sponsor, Fred Deutsch, he's a Republican, said the bill is designed to ensure the privacy of students in the school's most private areas. And it responds to an opinion voiced by the Department of Justice and the Department of Education under the Obama administration, which overstepped its authority. All they're trying to do is be reasonable and put reasonable back into using the restroom. Mm-hmm. I'm a female. I need to use the female restroom. I need my security.
Yeah, and I don't need a man dressed as a woman in that bathroom.
Exactly. That's like the FBI trying to backdoor your iPhone.
Exactly.
I don't need you looking around in my back door.
Mm-mm.
That was funny right there.
That was funny.
So anyway, there's a lawsuit involving transgender high school student in Virginia, treating a student differently from other students because of his birth assigned sex diverted from his gender identity constitutes differential treatment on the basis of sex under Title 16. So there you have it. So hats off to Dakota, South Dakota. Let's hope the governor doesn't backpedal.
That's right.
Okay, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Remnant Resistant. Welcome to the Remnant Resistance. Resisting and fighting the enemies of God.
You are listening to the Kapow Radio Show Network.
What? And Kapow stands for Kingdom Against Powers of Wickedness. Your hosts Paul and Linda broadcast every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. But you can hear all the shows on archive anytime or as an iTunes download. Our topics include the paranormal, the supernatural, and spiritual warfare. The Kapow Radio Show is sponsored by Fifth Hook Media, a digital publisher of ebooks, music, and teaching materials. Visit fifthookmedia.com to see our ebooks about spiritual warfare. That's FIFTHOOK media.com.
Keep up the good fight. We are glad you joined the resistance.
Okay, Mr. Kapow, we're going to change it up a little bit.
Oh, right.
From government corrupted to some strange stories. Talk about some ghosts in Japan that are taking taxi cabs around town. Also, mysterious tar from heaven.
Uh-huh. That is interesting.
Can't be good. You're looking for manna and you're getting tar.
Tar. Not terror. Tar.
Not tar. There's blood spilled on American soil. Tar. These tars. Okay. This is Japan.
Japan.
Taxi drivers pick ghost passengers.
In tsunami-hit towns.
What?
Ooh, yeah.
What?
Marine spirits.
Yeah. There's some kind of disembodied, deceptive little spirits running around here. Okay. Several taxi drivers from towns in northeast Japan. That's the Mexican version of saying.
No, it's Japano.
Japano. Hey, I'm getting people talking to me in my headphones, and they're driving me crazy. I think they're demons. They've reported they've had several encounters with ghost passengers, Ms. Kapow, who then disappear upon reaching their destination.
But a lot of that kind of stuff happens in Japan.
It does.
That forest.
Yes.
I forget the name of the big forest. But
Suicide forest.
Yeah, but there's a lot of...
I think they did a movie on that.
Scene or documentary.
Yeah. Well, we saw a documentary on it, but I think there was actually like a movie based on the
yeah, that's right. We didn't
forest.
see that one, though. That's why I can't remember.
But yeah, a lot of ghostly things. The episodes have occurred in towns like... Oh, can you pronounce this?
Inomaki.
Very good.
Can't see real well with my glasses, but I think that's...
And this town was badly affected in the 2011 tsunami. The news surfaced after a research conducted by a sociology student, Yuka Kuro. Yuka Kuro. She's 22 years old. What a great name, huh?
Tohoku Gakuin.
That's where she's from. Yeah. Who reportedly interviewed over 100 drivers as part of her study. So this isn't just a few people saying this. I mean, if you can believe this article, if you can believe it, you do have a student interviewing over 100 people in a study. So let's keep an open mind here. Kudo noted interviewing a taxi driver in his 50s who recalled having a ghost encounter with a woman near the
Ishinomaki station.
Very good. The female passenger allegedly asked the driver to be taken to the
Minamihama
district, to which the driver responded, "The area is almost empty. Is it okay?" The woman next said, "Have I died?"
Oh my.
Upon turning back to answer the woman, the taxi driver says the car seat was empty. So, I don't know if you want to believe that. Maybe he was pulling this young girl's chain. You know what I mean? Maybe they're telling tales. Who knows?
Yeah.
Interesting. Who knows? Several similar incidents have been reported by taxi drivers leading to unpaid fares. Now, where are you going to lie about that? Unless you're driving your friends around saying, "No, I ain't going to charge you." I don't know. But you still got to, that comes out of your pocket, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to find a motivation for them to lie. "You're out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order." Remember that?
Yeah.
Justice for
Al
all?
Pacino?
Yeah.
Al
He goes,
Pacino.
Al Pacino. What's the motivation for this girl to lie? What's the motivation? You know what the motivation is, Your Honor? You know what your motivation? There is none. There is none. This judge raped, he beat her. And then they start slamming the gavel. "You're out of order. No, you're out of order. You out of order. You out of order." Remember that movie?
I do remember.
That was a good movie. They should redo that with Sean Penn.
Sean Penn's a good actor, though.
He is a good actor.
You know that.
He's a good actor.
A good actor.
I know.
He's just strange bedfellows.
Well, they're actors. That's what they do. So anyway, they were losing fares. They started their meters in all cases believing the passengers were living people. None of the drivers, however, reported being scared of the ghosts. Well, because they didn't know they were ghosts.
Yeah, they look human.
Yeah. According to the interviews, Kudo said most of the ghosts were identified to be young. She says, this is a quote from her, "Young people feel strongly chagrined at their deaths." I don't know how she knows that. "When they cannot meet people they love and they want to convey their bitterness, they may have chosen taxis, which are like private rooms, as a medium to do." So I don't know what that means.
Smaller space or something like that they can...
I guess so. She learned that the death of each victim carries importance. She wants to convey that. Anyway, the tsunami hit in March in 2011. It's coming up, an anniversary. It claimed over 16,000 lives. The places where people say they see ghosts are largely those areas completely swept away by the tsunami. A psychiatrist in Ishinomaki reported in the Daily Mail. They said, "We think phenomena like ghost sightings are perhaps a mental projection of the terror and the worries associated with those places. It will take time for the post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, to emerge for many people in temporary housing for whom nothing has changed since the quake.
Wow, that's sad.
I don't know. I just think it's a interesting story. Okay. What is going on in Michigan? A Michigan town.
I don't know.
Black rain. It's not really rain. It's just these black globs. And there's pictures
It's
of
like
it.
the Blob movie.
Yeah. But they
Don't
look,
touch it.
Oh, yeah, don't lick it. They should taste it. Could be chocolate. Could be chocolate.
Not that dark. It's more like licorice.
Oh. Black licorice?
Yeah.
Nah.
I like black licorice.
Not on my car hood. Yeah, this stuff
Not
is
on
like...
my tongue either.
This stuff just like mooshes down on the driveways and walkways and on the cars. It looks like it's going to be a bear to get off. Wow. They don't know what it's like. It's a tar-like substance. It falls
I wonder
from
if
the sky.
it's like that, those tar pits, you know? In California, they had those.
Yeah. But where did this thing come from?
I don't know.
It's bewildered residents as it covers cars, porches, and driveways.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
As long as it doesn't get on your mesquite mop hairdo. You know, because that would be bad. A city in Michigan is perplexed. Well, I would be too. After a tar-like substance has rained down on their cars, porches, and driveways this week. The black, oily substance first appeared on at least 6 driveways in Harrison Township on Sunday. And days later. So it's not just one day. It's been going on. What the material is still remains a mystery. The Michigan Department of Environmental Quality officials collected samples of the substance on Wednesday. Now, there's some pictures of this on Facebook, and it looks like it makes quite a mess.
Very
just
messy.
picture this tar everywhere. The city's fire chief said that it is not bird droppings. And he knows this how?
Because he tasted it.
He tasted it. He's an expert in pigeon droppings. No, this isn't pigeon. It's not starling either. It's way too firm to be duck or goose.
Oh, gross.
No. Okay, so the fire chief says that it's not bird droppings and it's not flammable. Once again, fire chief, flammable. How does he know this? He had to have
Set it on a fire.
He probably got his boys. He probably got that big red engine out there, the big ladder. They got those hoses. They got all dressed up in their hazmat suits because they're all excited because they had nothing to do all night except polish their cars. And they go out there and they go, okay, see if this is flammable. And they just, they take a little Bic lighter. No, chief.
It's not burning up.
Don't catch on fire. Harrison Township resident Paul Schluchtow.
He's 73, by the way.
Well, Bernie Sanders is 74.
Okay.
And he's a curmudgeon senator from Vermont. He said, everybody's concerned here about the substance. And the major concern is that the substance could potentially be harmful.
And he's right.
Yeah, he's right.
You
It
don't
could
know what
be.
that is.
Yeah, you don't want to bathe in it. You don't want to lick it. Residents originally believed that the substance could have come from the nearby Selfridge Air National Guard base. Blame the National Guard. But the base released a statement said, nay, it wasn't coming from us. There is no indication that the substance in question came from a military aircraft of any type, the statement said. So, man, they really removed themselves from it. The statement said the airbase has been in communication with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, which was sending a representative to the area in question to review the material. So the military is going to get involved in this. Wow.
That can't be good.
As Michigan's hometown Air Force, we take being a good neighbor very serious, said the commander. Well, I got to believe him. We will continue to work with our local and state partner agencies to resolve this question. Fire Chief Michael Lopez, he's the guy who tested it for bird droppings and tried to light on fire, said that the airbase will still investigate. He said, it does not appear to be a full substance, a fuel substance at all. And so we did confirm that, but it appears as though it came from an aircraft of some sort. But we haven't confirmed that either. I'm not lying to you. I'm reading it. But we did turn it over to Selfridge to investigate. And I'm going to go back and have some more mac and cheese. I'm going to polish my truck. Well, the policemen get out there and do real... Oh, don't get me going. Oh, come on, Paul. Come on. A little biased, aren't you? Well, okay.
Oh, look at that poor car.
Oh, yeah.
Ay.
I'm not cleaning that.
Well, you don't even know if it's going to come off.
No. And what's it going to do to your hand? I see the face of Obama in these things. They're splatters, but they look like Obama drops.
I think it's George Bush's fault.
A Michigan Department of Environmental Quality officer said it could be at least a week, folks, before the organization discovers what the substance is. You know why? Because there's no labs. There's no labs around. There's nothing open this time of day. We can't analyze it. I don't know. Maybe it's not that easy. Maybe I watch too much TV, and I think that they can just go to a lab and
30 minutes later,
and go.
You got it all solved.
Yeah,
I don't think that's unreasonable.
I don't think it's unreasonable if they do it on TV.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So I think that's it for
Is
today.
That it? All those stories. Oh.
Yeah, I've been pretty angry, so I think I need to.
Yeah, you need some juice.
I need some
juice.
And juice.
And your nap.
I need a nap, and I need to calm down. I'm just so excited. You have anything else to add or anything?
No, I don't.
Okay, well then let's
give a shout out.
Give a big shout.
Ciao, babies.
The earth is breaking, crumbling. The earth is tottering, swaying, like a drunk man, falling, crashing to the ground like a dead man, lying, running on the ground. Earth is breaking. The earth is breaking, crumbling. The earth is tottering, swaying, like a drunk man, falling, crashing to the ground like a dead man, lying, running on the ground. Crumbling, the earth is tottering, swaying, like a drunk man, falling, crashing to the ground like a dead man, lying, running on the ground. The earth is breaking, crumbling. The earth is tottering, swaying, like a drunk man, falling, crashing to the ground like a dead man, lying, running on the ground.